Greetings, my friend. My name is David McLeod, and I am your Life Mastery Coach and a senior partner at the Wellness Universe. I'm also the author of the book, A Life to Die For, and one of the co-authors of the best-selling series, The Wellness Universe Guide to Complete Self-Care. Welcome to Life Mastery Soul Memos, my monthly series aimed at helping you to expand and magnify your life one simple idea at a time. The topic for episode 28 is releasing grudges. Betrayal is something that happens to everyone sooner or later, and for some of us, it may actually happen more than once. It is definitely an unpleasant experience and something no one enjoys, let alone wants to go through multiple times. When betrayal happens, it's not unusual to fall into our ego-mind pattern of wanting to get even with the other person. When someone does something to violate our trust, our ego mind identifies the other person as the cause of our pain and suffering, and therefore we find ourselves wanting revenge. The desire for revenge can grow quite strong within us, and will often wait as long as it takes, even years if necessary, to even up the score. Our ego minds love to hang on to stuff like this, to keep us thinking this way. Why? Well, because the ego mind sees danger virtually everywhere and seeks to keep us from hurting ourselves. But the ego mind is very short-sighted with its faulty rationalizations, and consequently, if we follow its counsel, it leads us into very real dangers that may in fact be worse than what we were trying to avoid in the first place. Think about it. How many times have you ever tried to get even with someone and felt good about it? For me, invariably the exact opposite has happened. Whenever I went out of my way to get even, my vengeful act usually ended up being more extreme than the original incident, and I ended up creating far more pain for the other person than had been created for me. Needless to say, I felt even worse than I did before. By holding a grudge like this, we tend to do more damage to ourselves than we do to the other person. Effectively, we withhold forgiveness for the other person, and as the old adage goes, it's like drinking poison and hoping the other person will die. But by hanging on to that grudge, we instead fill ourselves with negativity that actually finds its way into our cells, where it can cause serious problems, even toxic diseases. So in a very real sense, we end up poisoning ourselves. The antidote to this poison is to release the grudge altogether. This may sound like a very difficult thing to do, but one way that always works for me is to forgive. Forgiveness is essentially an intentional decision to release resentment and forego ideas of revenge. Forgiveness doesn't change history, but it does change the way you relate to that history. You may never forget something that happened to you, but if you can forgive, then you can free yourself from the grip of the pain associated with that memory. Forgiveness does not mean that you have to speak to the other person. Forgiveness is an act of bravery and courage, an act of the heart. Therefore, it can be totally private. It is about you, not about the other person. Forgiveness does not mean that you forget what happened or was done to you. Some things that happen in life are so strong and emotional and powerful that there is no way to forget them. However, if you can forgive, then over time, the ability to forget will grow stronger. Forgiveness does not mean that you minimize or justify or ignore or condone any wrongdoing. Everyone, including you and me, must take responsibility for our own thoughts, words, actions, and emotions. Forgiveness does not absolve anyone of that responsibility. Forgiveness does not mean that you experience immediate healing and instantly begin to trust the other person. Healing takes time, and sometimes it requires help from others. But forgiveness can accelerate the healing process because it frees us from thoughts of revenge and resentment. And the healing may lead to a renewed sense of trust for the other person. But that's merely a possibility, not a necessity. Now, on the other side of the coin, Forgiveness does mean that you release resentments, grudges, and ideas of revenge. These are the ingredients in the cup of poison I mentioned earlier. By disposing of these ingredients, you free yourself of any further damage that might otherwise happen to you, and this accelerates your healing and recovery. Forgiveness does mean that you clear obstacles to your own intentional growth. By forgiving, you open up the path in front of you and allow your intentional growth to magnify. This in turn leads to a clearer understanding of who you really are and why you are here. Forgiveness does mean that you feel your own feelings and create space for healing. Giving yourself permission to feel and express your emotions is one of the most powerful and liberating acts of love you can offer yourself. Forgiveness makes this process much easier and therefore speeds healing. And finally, forgiveness does mean that you create more peace, compassion, and grace in your life. And who doesn't want more of those things? As these elements become more prevalent in your life, you automatically begin to appreciate your life more. And this just makes your life continually more enjoyable. You may experience situations in the future where your trust is violated or your boundaries are not respected or you find yourself betrayed in some way. You will undoubtedly experience some emotional pain if that happens. But try not to fall into a victim mindset. Rise above the fear-based thinking of your ego mind and let go of your desire for revenge. Release the grudge, surrender to spirit, and tap into your soul's love-based intention to forgive. You will quickly find yourself returning to confidence and self-empowerment. Just a quick reminder about my year-long program on the Wellness Universe Lounge called Grateful at Last, a guided tour to life's greatest gift. Lessons are offered on the third Thursday of the month at 2 p.m. Eastern Time. I invite you to come join me as I guide you on a journey through 12 critical waypoints that will help you understand, develop, and practice the skills that will help you to create and live the life of your deepest heart's desire. You can find more details and register on the Wellness Universe Lounge website at https://bit.ly/grateful-at-last. Also, if you're looking for articles, videos, and other powerful content that can help you to improve your life, please check out my website at yourlifemasterycoach.com. Grab a copy of one of my free ebooks right there on the front page and sign up for a free account so you can get access to everything else I offer there. Well, that's all I have this time, my beautiful friend. No matter what happens in your life, you have the power to choose how you will respond to it. Will you respond from fear or from love? Will you hold a grudge or will you rely on the power of forgiveness to guide you? I know you'll make the right choice because you are on a continual path of growth and life mastery. Until we meet again, I wish you love, light, and blessings on your journey. See you next time on Life Mastery Soul Memos. Bye-bye for now.